Hello, and welcome to the River Mountain Model Railroad. On this episode, we're going to do a product spotlight. Today's product is the ExactRail Evolution HO Scale FMC 5277 Combo Door Boxcar. So let's go ahead and take a look. Before we talk about the model, let's talk about the prototype. This boxcar was built by FMC for the American Rail Boxcar Company in the late 1970s and early 1980s. It measures approximately 50 feet 6 inches long and has a capacity of 70 tons. It also has a cubic footage rating of 5,277. The unique design of this car includes a 6-foot plug door in addition to the regular 10-foot Youngstown slider door. Before we unbox the model, let's talk about the details. Hopefully you noticed from the opening slides that this was actually purchased from Scale Trains. And although it's an ExactRail model, Scale Trains acquired their products a couple of months ago and they offer it on their website. So as far as the product details, it's fully assembled. Just like the prototype, there's a 6-foot plug door and a 10-foot sliding door. There's separately applied lower door tracks, separately applied door bars, wire side grab irons, separately applied brake wheel, separately applied apex coupler crossover platform, standoff end ladders with wire crossover grab iron. There's a non-overhanging Stanray X11 panel roof, KD number 58 couplers. It's highly detailed 70-ton Barber S2 trucks. It's got 33-inch machine metal wheels with 110-inch wide wheel tread, probably to give you a more prototypical look. It operates on Code 70, Code 83, and Code 100 rail. It's weighted to industry standards for reliable operation. It's got safety packaging for shipment and handling, and they recommend a minimum radius of 22 inches. Before we pull the model out of the box, you can see that the packaging is very nice. You can see the blister pack inside of the exterior packing material, and that's designed for one, to protect the model, and two, to advertise their product. But this is the patched out and slightly weathered A-Box boxcar. Of course, you can see the patch out, but if you look closely here on the logo, you can see that some of the paint is chipped away, and it's up here on the Railbox logo also, and we'll take a closer look at that once we get it out of the box. So let's go ahead and get that out of the packaging. So when you pull it out of the box, be careful. Even though it's a blister or clamshell pack, there wasn't any tape securing that anywhere. So make sure you secure that when you, or have it held securely when you pull that out of the box. Now inside of the packaging, there is another protective wrapping, which just slightly peel that back. And pull the car out. There are no extra parts, unlike some manufacturers that might ship roller bearings for the wheels in the trucks or extra stirrups or parts, but there isn't any inside of there. Before we put it on the rails, let's flip it over and look at the underside of the model. I'm going to use a piece of foam here to protect it a little bit. So looking at the underside of the model, you can see here that the wheels in the trucks rotate and move freely. But I'm really surprised that for an ExactRail model, all of your under-rigging details are molded. Now that's not a bad thing, but I would have expected some separately applied details for the undercarriage of the boxcar. But you can see here that it's detailed and they are visible, but they are molded. They are not separately applied. Flip it around here so that you can look at that side. But unless you're derailing all of the time or flipping your stuff over, you're probably not going to look at the underside that much anyway. You know, a little dull coat and a little, maybe some black wash or some grime wash, I'm going to help keep that down. Here is a little bit closer look at the undercarriage details. And like I say, although they're molded and not separately applied, that's okay. They look good. And like I said, the trucks and the wheels are pretty free spinning. As you can see here, the roof has already had material applied to prevent from leaking, and it also appears to be somewhat weathered. Speaking of weathering, you can see on the side here that the paint is starting to chip from the Railbox logo or A-Box logo. It's also starting to chip up here in the Railbox wording. There's your patch out. As stated in the details, there's your separately applied grab irons and stirrups on each end. Continuing with the sides, as you can see, we have our separately applied grab irons and stirrups, our patch out, reflective safety striping at various places along the way, more patch out detail, weathering, chipping. For the B end of the car, you can see the separately applied brake wheel, crossover step, handrail, ladders, and there's the X58 KD coupler. So now we'll look at the A end of the car, and as you can see, we've got pretty much the same separately applied details. We've got the crossover walkway, the handrail, ladders, and the X58 coupler. Here's another view of the side of the Boxcar, particularly looking at the 6-foot plug door and the 10-foot sliding Youngstown door. But you can see we have separately applied details, including grab irons, stirrups, door handles, and some other items. According to the product details, it is weighted to industry standards for reliable operation. So I got the scale out, so let's see. I got a little piece of foam here that I'm going to use to help protect the car, and even that little piece of foam has got some weight to it. So let's go ahead and zero that out. Now, according to NMRA, an HO scale 50-foot Boxcar should weigh 4.5 ounces. So let's go ahead and put this on there, and we shall see. Well, according to that, it's about 4.45 ounces. So it is close to the NMRA standards. It's a little light. I like my rolling stock a little on the heavy side, but not too overweight. You know, it tracks a little bit better, especially on curves. But you can see that it's close to NMRA standards for reliable weight. Put it on the front part there to see if it changes anything. Nope, still 4.45 ounces. Overall, I think it's a pretty good replication of the prototype. There's a lot of nice features to it. It looks good and it runs good. And as far as the value for the money, I think it was a pretty good deal. Well, that concludes this product spotlight. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. As always, thanks for watching the River Mountain Model Railroad.